Welcome to Before AGI. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling AI. More specifically, the people shaping the field and the resources to keep you ahead of the game.
hmm
For all our tech enthusiasts and professionals out there.
Definitely. It's a really exciting time to be diving into AI. The pace of change is just incredible.
Absolutely. And, you've given us a fantastic selection of articles about these AI influencers and
Yeah.
resources. I have to admit, I'm particularly fascinated by the folks who are not only, creating these new technologies, but also pushing for responsible AI development.
It's a huge theme that comes up in all these sources, this idea of human-centered AI. And one of the most prominent voices in this area is Fei-Fei Li, who's often called the godmother of AI.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that name before. Isn't she a Stanford professor?
That's right. She co-directs Stanford's Human-Centered AI Institute, and she's done some amazing work in AI. But one of her most notable achievements is creating ImageNet.
ImageNet. Now, I remember reading about that. It's that massive database of images, right? The one used to train AI algorithms.
Exactly. ImageNet completely revolutionized AI, especially in computer vision. Think about it. It's the foundation for the image recognition used by Google, Huawei, so many companies. ImageNet let algorithms learn from millions of labeled pictures, leading to the kind of image recognition we see everywhere today.
So Fei-Fei Li's work is directly impacting the technology we use every day. But it sounds like she's not just focused on the tech itself, right? What's her take on human-centered AI?
She really emphasizes that AI needs to be developed and deployed in a way that actually benefits everyone, humanity as a whole. There's a quote from your resources that really stuck with me. If we don't get this right, the public sector is going to be out-resourced, out-computed, and left behind. She's worried about what could happen if AI development is solely driven by profit and governments and institutions don't have the resources to keep up.
That's a really thought-provoking point. If private companies are the main drivers of AI, who's ensuring that it aligns with, society's broader interests?
Exactly. That's the question she's raising. Now, switching gears a bit, another big name in AI is Yann LeCun. He's another one who gets called a godfather of AI.
AI seems to have a lot of godfathers. What makes LeCun stand out?
Well, he's a Turing Award winner, which is basically the Nobel Prize for computer science. He's Meta's chief AI scientist. He even got the French Legion of Honor and a global Swiss AI award at Davos. So incredibly accomplished. And he's known for his pioneering work on convolutional neural networks.
Convolutional neural networks. That sounds pretty technical. Could you break that down for me?
Of course. They're a type of artificial neural network specifically designed to process data with a grid-like structure like images. LeCun's work on them has been absolutely crucial for advances in image recognition and classification. Everything from facial recognition to self-driving cars relies on this.
Another example of groundbreaking work shaping the AI landscape. So does LeCun share Fei-Fei Li's focus on this human-centered AI approach?
He's definitely more on the optimistic side. He really believes AI will ultimately amplify human intelligence instead of replacing it. He even talks about a future where everyone has staffs of smart AI assistants.
Interesting to see those contrasting views, right? Fei-Fei Li are urging caution, emphasizing responsible development, and LeCun with this more utopian vision of AI. That's a lot to think about.
It really is. And it's not just academics driving this field. We have entrepreneurs like Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn.
Ah, LinkedIn. Use that all the time.
Yeah.
What's his connection to AI?
He's super involved in the AI world through investments, early investor in OpenAI advocacy, and even co-founded Inflection AI. He's especially interested in bringing emotional intelligence, or EQ, into AI development.
AI with EQ. Now, that's a fascinating concept. But can we really teach machines to understand, let alone respond to, human emotions?
That's the big question. Hoffman argues that if AI is going to work effectively alongside us, it needs to go beyond processing information. It needs to grasp those subtle emotional aspects of human interaction. He even co-authored a book with GPT-4, yes, the AI itself, called Impromptu, Amplifying Our Humanity Through AI.
A book co-written by an AI. It's amazing to see how AI is becoming more involved in creative fields.
Yeah.
But, as AI gets more advanced, it's only natural to have concerns about the potential downsides.
Definitely. And that's where someone like Tristan Harris comes in.
Okay, tell me about him.
He's the co-founder of the Center for Humane Technology and host of the Your Undivided Attention podcast. He's been a strong advocate for responsible technology, raising concerns about, things like social media addiction and the ethical implications of AI.
So he's more on the cautious side when it comes to AI.
You could say that He even testified before Congress, emphasizing how AI could be used for manipulation and urging more investment in AI safety and governance. One of his main points is this huge gap in resources between developing AI capabilities and research into AI safety. He argues that we're pouring money into making AI more powerful, but neglecting the crucial research to ensure it's used safely and ethically.
It does seem like we're rushing ahead without fully considering the potential consequences.
That's a valid concern. It highlights the need for a balanced approach to AI embracing innovation while prioritizing safety and ethical considerations.
Absolutely. So we've covered some major figures in the AI world, people who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, but also raising those important questions about responsible development and deployment. But it's hard to keep up with all this. How can we stay informed with all this rapid advancement?
That's where AI resources come in, and luckily the sources you provided have some great recommendations for staying ahead of the game.
Awesome. Let's hear about those resources then.
One of the most effective ways is through AI newsletters. You get curated content delivered straight to you. Saves a lot of time and effort sifting through all the information out there.
Sounds like a great place to start. Which newsletters did they recommend?
Well, there's Chain of Thought, which is a weekly one. It dives into this interesting mix of AI, tools for thought, and even work psychology. Perfect for anyone who wants to understand how AI is affecting how we think and work. Then there's the Neuron, a daily newsletter that breaks down those complex AI concepts into an engaging, easy-to-understand format. If you want a daily dose of AI news without getting bogged down in jargon, that's the one.
So we've got a weekly deep dive and a daily update. Any other newsletters on the list?
Oh yeah, Exponential View is another excellent one. It's weekly, provides in-depth analysis of how AI is impacting industries, society, the economy. If you're interested in the big picture, how AI is shaping the world, this is the resource for you.
So these newsletters offer different perspectives and levels of depth, catering to different needs and time commitments. Were there any other resources beyond newsletters that were recommended?
For sure. One of the sources pointed to Product Hunt, which showcases new tech products, including AI tools. It's great for getting a glimpse into emerging trends and seeing the latest innovative AI applications being developed.
So if I want to see the cutting edge of AI, Product Hunt is the place to be.
You got it. And then there's Papers with Code, which is a bit more technical, but super valuable if you want to dig deeper into the actual research behind these AI advancements. It provides access to those research papers along with the code implementations. You can actually explore the details of how these advancements work.
That's great for anyone who really wants to understand the inner workings of AI, but it sounds like we're just scratching the surface of available resources. Are there any others we should know about?
Oh, definitely. There are a few more worth mentioning. One source highlighted devx.com, a website dedicated to hands-on AI development tutorials.
devx.com. Okay, tell me more.
They cover a ton of topics: deep learning frameworks, best practices for machine learning, AI tool reviews. They even have code samples and implementations, making it a great resource for developers who actually want to build AI applications.
Sounds very useful for anyone ready to move beyond theory and start building their own AI applications. What about for those more interested in the business side? How AI is being applied across different sectors?
Your sources had a recommendation for that too. AIauthority.com connects AI tech with its real-world applications. They have the latest AI news, expert interviews, and insights into how AI is being used in various industries.
So something for both the techies and the business folks. Anything else?
Well, if you're interested in the deeper ethical and philosophical implications of AI, there's the Machine Intelligence Research Institute, or MRI.
MIR. Haven't heard of them. What kind of work do they do?
They're dedicated to ensuring AI benefits humanity. They focus on super important areas like AI safety, making sure AI systems behave in a safe way, AI alignment, making sure they understand and follow human intentions and robustness, building AI systems that are reliable and effective in lots of different situations.
Those are all absolutely critical considerations. It's reassuring to know that there are groups out there actively working on these potential risks associated with AI development. Any other resources you want to highlight?
There are two more that I think deserve a mention. First, there's AI Playbook, which is basically a must-read for anyone interested in AI for marketing.
AI and marketing. Now that's interesting.
They have comprehensive guides, case studies, expert insights, everything you need to really leverage AI for better marketing strategies. It's all about using AI to make better decisions, increase efficiency, and improve customer engagement.
It seems like AI is already having a huge impact on marketing. Anything else?
Last but not least, there's Machine Learning Mastery.
What's special about them?
They offer self-study tutorials, practical guides, algorithm breakdowns, really helping you grasp those complexities of machine learning. It's great for anyone who wants to go deeper into the technical side of AI.
Wow, that is a lot of information. We've talked about newsletters, websites, organizations, even platforms for hands-on learning. There's a whole world of resources out there for anyone who wants to learn about AI.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the end of part 1 of our AI deep dive.
But don't worry, we're just getting started. In part 2, we'll explore how AI experts stay informed, the podcasts, the Twitter accounts, the research papers they rely on. Join us as we continue this journey into the fascinating world of artificial intelligence.
Welcome back to our deep dive on all things AI. So many resources and perspectives, it's incredible.
It really is. Last time, we talked about big names like Fei-Fei Li, Jan LeCun, even touched on some of those ethical questions raised by Tristan Harris,
Yeah, and we went through a ton of resources, newsletters, websites, even entire organizations dedicated to AI.
It's true. Staying informed is so crucial, especially with AI moving so fast. But all this talk about resources got me thinking, how do the actual AI experts, the people in the field, how do they stay updated?
That is a great question, and thankfully your sources give us some clues. One article focused on this successful AI entrepreneur, and they really highlighted podcasts.
Podcasts. Of course, should have known. Which ones did they recommend?
One of their favorites is the All In podcast, but it's not strictly about AI. It covers all sorts of topics, economics, tech, politics, you name it. But the hosts are all these tech veterans, investors, so naturally, AI comes up a lot in their conversations.
So it's a way to see how AI intersects with other industries and trends. What other podcasts made their list?
The TWIM ML AI podcast was another one, stands for This Week in Machine Learning and AI. They cover a wide range of AI topics, often interviewing leading researchers and people working in the field.
It's like getting direct access to the experts. So podcasts are great for hearing what's happening in AI straight from the people who are shaping it. But I imagine reading still plays a big part, right?
Oh, absolutely. And this might surprise you, but Twitter seems to be a major source for news and insights in the AI world.
Twitter. Seriously.
Yeah.
I wouldn't thought of it as a place for in-depth information.
I know, right? It's not the first thing that comes to mind. But several of your sources mentioned it as the place where AI news breaks first, often before traditional media picks it up. It's also a way to see what those experts are discussing in real time.
So it's less about the memes and more about following the right accounts.
Yeah.
Any specific recommendations?
Bindu Reddy. She's the CEO of Abacus AI, known for her really technical, thought-provoking tweets. Then there's Jerry Liu, CEO of Llama Index, who shares a lot of engaging videos and tutorials. And of course, you can't forget Andrew Ng, the Stanford professor, AI pioneer.
Oh yeah, Andrew Wang. Wasn't he involved with Coursera?
He was a co-founder, actually. He's huge in AI education and uses Twitter to share his insights on all things AI research and applications. You'll also find other familiar names there, Jan LeCun, Demis Hassabis from Google DeepMind, even Ian Goodfellow, the guy who invented generative adversarial networks.
It's like a who's who of AI on Twitter. Pretty cool if they share so much. But I'm sure it's not all just quick tweets. They must do some heavier reading too, right?
Definitely. A lot of experts emphasize keeping up with research papers.
That sounds pretty dense. How do they find the time?
Platforms like arcsrv.org are super helpful. It's a repository of research papers from tons of different fields, including AI, and Papers with Code, which we mentioned before, lets you see both the papers and the code implementations.
So if you really want to understand how something works, you can dive right into the code. That's amazing. I'm more of a visual learner myself. Are there resources that cater to that style?
You're in luck. Your sources mentioned YouTube quite a bit. Many AI experts have their own channels where they break down their knowledge and insights in video form.
Perfect. Any channels in particular you'd recommend?
Matthew Berman's channel is a great one. He explains things in a way that's clear and engaging. And then there's Andrej Karpathy. He was the director of AI at Tesla, and now he's back at OpenAI. His channel is a mix of stuff for general audiences and more in-depth scientific discussions.
Something for everyone. It's amazing how much free educational content is out there. Beyond individual channels, any other YouTube resource is worth mentioning.
Yes. 2-Minute Papers is a fantastic one. They condense complex AI research papers into, you guessed it, 2-minute videos.
2 minutes, perfect for my attention span. So we've got podcasts, Twitter, research papers, YouTube. Anything else these AI experts do to stay on top of things?
One thing that came up a lot was attending conferences and workshops. It's a chance to learn from the best, discover new tools, and network with other people in the field.
That classic combo of learning and connecting. Any specific conferences that stood out?
NeurIPS, the Conference on Neural Information Processing Systems, that's considered one of the top AI conferences globally. And then there's ICLR, the International Conference on Learning Representations.
What about AI Expo?
Oh yeah, that's a big one. And CVPR, that one focuses specifically on computer vision and pattern recognition. And of course, the AAAI Conference on Artificial Intelligence.
So many conferences, like a whole separate world. I have to admit, this is a lot to take in. Any advice for someone who's just starting to explore AI? Where should they begin?
I know, it can be overwhelming. I'd say start with what interests you the most.
So if I'm really into the ethical side of AI, I might start with MRI's website or follow Tristan Harris on Twitter.
Exactly. Or if you're excited about AI and marketing, then AI Playbook would be a great starting point. Don't try to learn everything at once. Just focus on what sparks your curiosity and build your knowledge from there.
Start small, follow your interests. Solid advice. But with so many resources, how do we know which ones to trust? How do we filter out the noise?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's a challenge even for the experts. One article recommended a strategy that I think is really valuable. Diversify your sources.
So don't just rely on one website, one podcast, one Twitter account. Get your information from a variety of places.
Right. By looking at different perspectives, tech enthusiasts, researchers, journalists, even skeptics, you can create a more balanced and comprehensive understanding of AI.
Don't get stuck in an echo chamber. Get different viewpoints. Challenge your own assumptions. That's great advice. But even with diverse sources, it can still feel overwhelming. Is there a way to make it all more manageable?
Absolutely. One expert shared their secret weapon, note-taking.
You mean like pen and paper? Who knew that was still a thing?
I know, it sounds old school, but it's seriously effective. When you find an interesting insight, jot it down. Summarize key takeaways from articles and podcasts. You could even turn those notes into blog posts or even your own newsletter.
That's a really cool idea. It makes you engage with the material and helps you remember it. Plus, you never know, maybe you'll become an AI influencer yourself.
You never know. But even if you don't become an influencer, sharing what you learn is always a good thing.
Agreed. Teaching is the best way to learn. We've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive so far, from major figures in AI to the best resources for staying informed. But there's one last thing I'm curious about.
What's that?
We talked about staying up to date on the news, the trends, the tools, but what about actually using AI? Where can our listeners go to get some hands-on experience?
That's a fantastic question, and it leads perfectly into the final part of our deep dive. Join us next time as we explore the tools and platforms that will let you not just learn about AI, but actually put it into practice.
Back again for part 3 of our AI deep dive. We've explored AI influencers, dug up a ton of resources, and even seen how the experts stay ahead of the game.
It's been a journey. All this learning makes me want to actually try some of this stuff out, get my hands dirty.
I know you mean. It's like reading all about baking bread and then finally getting in the kitchen to knead the dough.
Perfect analogy. And luckily, there are tons of tools and platforms out there that let you actually use AI, even if you're not a coding whiz.
So where do we start? What are the essential resources for someone who wants to become an AI practitioner?
One that comes up all the time is Google Colab. It's cloud-based, you can build and share machine learning models, and it's free.
Free is always good.
Oh,
So even a total newbie like me can play around with AI without breaking the bank.
absolutely. Colab gives you all the computing power you need, and it's really user-friendly. There are tons of tutorials and sample projects online to get you started.
So I can go from zero to AI hero. I'm in.
Uh-huh.
What other platforms were recommended?
If you're up for a challenge and a little competition, Kaggle is the place to be.
Kaggle. Refresh my memory on that one.
It's a platform where data scientists and machine learning folks compete to build the best models for certain tasks.
Like the AI Olympics.
Kind of. They have real-world data sets, specific challenges, even prizes. But even if you're not in it to win it, Kaggle is an amazing learning experience. You can work with others, get feedback, and learn from some of the best in the field.
Sounds like a great way to test your skills and level up. But what if you're not ready for all that competition? Are there resources that are more about, just exploring and experimenting?
Your sources mentioned there's an AI for that, a website that basically collects a huge directory of AI tools for all kinds of things.
Like an app store for AI.
Exactly. They categorize the tools by what they do, the industry, even price. So it's super easy to find what you need.
That would save so much time searching for the right tool.
Yeah.
But once you've found something, how do you actually learn how to use it?
A lot of tools come with their own tutorials and documentation, and there are tons of online courses and resources specifically for learning how to use certain AI platforms.
So whether you want to master one tool or get a general understanding of AI, there are ways to learn. Speaking of tools, can't forget the one everyone's been talking about.
Oh, which one are you thinking of?
ChatGPT, of course. Is it really as groundbreaking as they say?
ChatGPT has definitely made waves, and for good reason. It's the super powerful language model that can generate incredibly human-like text.
So it can write poems, scripts, even code.
All that and more. It's not just about creative writing. It can summarize documents, translate languages, even answer complex questions.
Wow. Sounds like ChatGPT could really change things up in a lot of industries. How do you start using it?
It's surprisingly easy. OpenAI, the company behind it, has a really user-friendly interface. You just type in what you want and see what it comes up with.
So I could ask it to write a haiku about, say, AI taking over the world.
You absolutely could. You might be surprised by the result. But with all these powerful AI tools becoming more accessible, what does it mean for the future of work? Are robots really going to take our jobs?
It's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
And it's important to think about, while AI will definitely automate certain tasks and might change the nature of some jobs, it's also going to create new opportunities. So it's less about robots stealing jobs and more about humans and AI working together.
Exactly. AI is a tool, a powerful tool, but still a tool. And like any tool, its impact depends on how we use it. Instead of fearing AI, we should focus on understanding it, learning how to work with it, and ensuring that it's used ethically and responsibly.
That's a great point, and one I think our listeners will appreciate. We've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive, from those influential figures to all the amazing resources, the hands-on tools, even talked about the future of work. It's obvious that AI is this rapidly evolving field with incredible potential for good, but also some challenges.
We've only scratched the surface. The world of AI is vast and always changing, so to stay ahead, stay curious, keep exploring, never stop learning.
Couldn't have said it better. A huge thank you to our listener for giving us the sources that led to this awesome exploration.
And to everyone listening, keep going on your own AI journey. Explore the resources we discussed, experiment with those tools, and most importantly, keep asking those questions.
And of course, subscribe to Before AGI for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics.
And if you're ready to really dig into AI, check out Ian Oching's YouTube channel, Ian Oching AI, for tutorials and insights that'll take your AI knowledge to the next level.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay ahead of that AI curve.